Hey guys, what's up? So it's episode 4 on my drawing challenge. I'm still drawing every day for 100 days, and this is a new process video that I have for you guys. And I thought that maybe today I'll do something different. And I got this email from a graphic design student from England, and he needs to interview an illustrator for some course that he has or something like that. So he sent me a bunch of questions, and I thought, hey, you know what, I'm gonna record these on video, and this way it's gonna be faster for me to answer, and also I can share it with you guys, and maybe this will be helpful for some other students or whoever is watching this. So let's start. And well, you did send me a lot of questions, so I'm gonna do just a few. And yeah, okay, let's see how it goes. So first one, how would you define your work? Well, I guess speaking very generally, I do work that is illustration work that is connected to graphic design and branding. That's like the area that I like to work within. Most of my projects as a freelancer was in this area, and also this is what I do today as a full-time employee for Monday. So yeah, branding with illustration and graphic design. Okay, as a graphic designer who has now become an illustrator, what role do you think graphic design principles play in your illustrations, and how often do you use them? Well, I use them all the time. I think graphic design principles are everywhere. Whatever I do, I need to consider the format that I'm working in, what type of media is it, do I have typography that I need to consider, and some sort of a messaging that needs to work in some way. So I feel like it doesn't really matter whether I work on a poster or maybe it's illustrations for a website or an app or whatever it is. There's always graphic design principles that I need to consider, and I use it all the time. And I'm very happy that this is what I was studying at the university before I became an illustrator. I focused on visual communications. So yeah, it's just part of what I do these days. Okay, next one. Do you think that more graphic designers should experiment with illustrations? And do you think that more illustrators should experiment with graphic design? I think, yeah, that's a great question. And of course, the answer is yes. I think you should really experiment with, different tools and different medias. And, if you're an illustrator, you can try out animation. And I mean, I love experimenting with animation whenever I have the time and the opportunity, and I really, really love 3D modeling and sculpting, and I feel like it changed the way I look at illustrations. Since I started touching 3D, it really made me think about it differently, and I think it will make you a better creator if you just experiment, with different tools and different medias. So I highly recommend it, and I think even if eventually most of the projects that I do today, I'll have someone else who will actually animate my illustrations, I still think it's very helpful that I understand animation basics, the basics, things like how to work with layers and how to prepare stuff and think about what's going to happen in the animation. So yeah, the more you experiment, the better, of course. Okay, next one. Man, you have some very weird questions, how would you define illustration? I don't know, man. Illustration is just if you create a visual, then whatever it is, an image, if it's visual, it's an illustration. It can be a sculpting even, still an illustration, if you ask me. Okay, that's weird, but hope this question helped you out. When working, okay, let's do this one. Has your combination of illustration and graphic design helped you get more clients and paid opportunities? That's a bit of a tricky question because I feel like it's a chicken and egg situation. My portfolio has a lot of like illustrations that are mixed with graphic design and branding. So naturally, these are the type of clients that came and reached me out and started working with me. So I guess, yeah, my style affected the type of clients that I work with. And so, okay, so it's not like classic chicken and egg, I guess. Okay, but you're asking more about like, did it help me to get clients? So it helped me to get clients, but in a very, very specific niche, which I think is very good actually. And I talked about it on this other video about finding your style. So you can check that other video if you want to. And I just explain it better on that other video. But I think that, of course, your portfolio will affect the type of clients that you get. And it will also like close the door on other clients. So my work is really heavily focused on like branding, graphic design, and illustration, and it's not about like art and illustrations for the gaming industry, and it's not about illustrations for children books. So I feel like I close the door on these industries and these fields within the world of graphic illustration, and I just don't get clients coming and reach me out about these type of projects. So you win some and you lose some, but I think it's good to be specific. I think it's really, really helpful. So I would recommend it if that's like another question that you're interested in. Okay, next one. How important do you think it is to find your style? Okay, classic one in both illustration and graphic design. So this is again like a classic question I get all the time, and I made like an entire video about finding your illustration style. I think it's important, but it's also like meaningless at the same time, because like whether you want it or not, you have your own style. If you might not recognize it now, or you might be too young and it's too early for you to have a very consistent style, but you already have a taste of what you like and what you don't like. That's like built into you. So I think you have a style whether you want it or not, and I think it's important. I think it's good, and if your portfolio is clear, it's better. But again, just go ahead and just watch my finding your style illustration. I'm gonna wait here. You can pause the video and watch it, and I think you'll have like a ton of answers for you, and you can come back and keep watching this video. I'll just wait here, and you can come back. Okay, you're back. Cool. So let's do another question. Do you believe that illustration is better received by the public than graphic design? That's a weird question as well. I think illustration is easier to judge maybe, and I feel like everybody has an opinion on illustration, and on graphic design might be different. So it's a bit more like complex, and you might not feel like you won't understand it. So I guess that's a good thing, but also a bad thing with like clients and stuff like that, because everybody feels like they know the best. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just like I'm answering like a completely out of context answer here, but whatever. Okay, this was a bit longer than I expected, but yeah, 9 minutes. Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. I think I got most of like the interesting and important questions. So I hope this helps, and I'm gonna talk about this illustration next time, I guess, because it's yeah, I need to do some other stuff now. So have a great day, week, whatever, and I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.